Once upon a time, in a quiet little village far away, there lived a poor blind beggar. Every day, he sat on the lonely path that led to the village stream. His name was Arer. Everyone in the village knew him. Whenever villagers passed by, they dropped a few coins into his bowl. Some even brought him food. Despite his poverty, Arer was always grateful. But strangely enough, no one really knew where he had come from, or whether he even belonged to their village. He was simply the blind beggar by the stream. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a young girl named Somto returned from the stream carrying her water pot. As she walked, she spotted Arer lying on the ground near the bushes, fast asleep. Her eyes fell on his money bowl. Inside were coins, shining, tempting. A dangerous thought crossed her mind. Glancing around to make sure no one was watching, Somto tiptoed closer. Slowly, carefully, she picked up the bowl. Her heart pounded in her chest. But just as she was about to leave, Arer vanished into thin air. The bowl slipped from her trembling hands. Her body froze. A shiver ran down her spine. Terrified, she dropped the coins to the ground and bolted home, like someone being chased by a ghost. That night, Somto locked herself in her room. Her heart wouldn't stop racing. Who was Arer? And what will he do to me for stealing from him? Later, as she sat on her bed, she felt her legs itching. She scratched and rubbed, then applied some ointment. It seemed to help, but only for a while. By midnight, Somto awoke to a horrifying sight. Her legs had transformed into the legs of a goat. Her scream shattered the silence of the night. Her father, Mazi Chukuka, rushed into the room. His eyes widened in disbelief as he stared at his daughter's grotesque goat legs. "Somto, what happened to you?" he cried. Terrified, Somto lied. She told her father that Arer had begged her for money, and when she refused, he cursed her and disappeared. But deep down, she knew the truth. She had stolen from him. The next morning, Mazi Chukuka stormed to the stream to confront Arer. But the beggar was nowhere to be found. He waited for hours, but Arer never showed up again. Meanwhile, Somto's pain grew unbearable. Her father took her from healer to healer. None could help. Word spread across the village, and soon crowds gathered to catch a glimpse of the girl with goat legs. People whispered in fear, "This is Arer's doing. No one must ever cross him." Weeks turned into months. Somto, once lively and proud, was now bedridden and broken. Finally, desperate, Mazi Chukuka visited a wise seer. The seer listened carefully, then said, "Arer is no ordinary beggar. He came here with a mission." Somto's greed angered him. Unless she completes Arer's mission, her whole body will turn into that of a goat. Shaken, Mazi returned home. That evening, he forced Somto to tell him the truth. Cornered, she confessed everything. How she tried to steal, and how Arer vanished before her eyes. Her father's heart broke. He realized that his daughter's small acts of theft in the past, acts her mother had always ignored, had finally led to this terrible fate. Determined to make things right, Somto decided to return to the exact spot where Arer used to sit. She waited there, day after day, enduring the villagers' mocking and pity. Children bleated like goats at her. Some adults shook their heads, whispering, "Her family has abandoned her." But Somto stayed. One rainy afternoon, she took shelter in a small hut near the stream. To her surprise, she found a frail old woman living there. The hut was filthy, the woman weak. Moved with compassion, Somto cleaned the hut, cooked her a meal, and cared for her. The old woman smiled warmly. "Thank you, child. You have a good heart." For the first time in months, Somto felt a glimmer of peace. The next day, by the stream, Somto met a young boy carrying a water pot. His face was sad, his eyes red from crying. "Are you all right?" she asked gently. The boy burst into tears. He told her how his stepmother mistreated him, starved him, beat him, blamed him for his father's death. His real mother had abandoned him when he was just a baby. Somto's heart ached for him. She gave him food and comforted him. She promised to look after him. The following day, the boy brought her a small bracelet. "This belonged to my mother," he whispered. Somto held the bracelet, wondering if it might help her find his lost mother. That evening, a powerful priestess visited Somto's home. Mazi Chukuka had called her, hoping she could break the curse. The priestess took one look at the bracelet and froze. "Where did you get this?" she demanded. Somto explained about the boy. Tears filled the woman's eyes. "That boy is my son. Years ago, my family sent him away, so I would accept my calling as a priestess. They hid him under a powerful spell. I searched everywhere, but I could never find him." Somto could hardly believe what she was hearing. The next morning, she led the priestess to the boy's hut. Just as they arrived, his cruel stepmother was beating him again. Enraged, the priestess raised her hand. In an instant, the wicked woman was transformed into a goat. And at that very moment, Somto's legs returned to normal. The curse was lifted. Tears of relief streamed down her face. She had finally completed Arer's mission. She realized then that Arer was not just a beggar. He was the spirit of the boy's late father, watching over his son, waiting for someone kind enough to rescue him. The priestess embraced her son tightly, whispering promises never to leave him again. She turned to Somto with gratitude. "You have reunited a mother with her child. You have fulfilled Arer's mission." Somto bowed her head, humbled and grateful. From that day on, she was never the same. She learned her lesson: never to steal, never to lie. She became kinder, more compassionate, and a better daughter. And so, the story of Somto reminds us of this. Every action has consequences. Dishonesty and greed bring suffering, but kindness, compassion, and truth have the power to heal even the deepest wounds.